Well, welcome everybody, church family. It's great to see you again. It's Friday and another week has gone. I know we're all still adjusting with different conditions. Oresti, thank you for joining us today.
That's cool. Happy to be here, Greg.
Now, I've been reading Isaiah chapter 62 for a talk I'm going to give in a few weeks, and it has stood out to me right at verse 1. God says to Israel, "You are always supposed to be a light to the nations." And, I think sometimes we forget that God's intent to reach all people groups has always been part of his children, his family. Oresti, tell us a little around, our church just gave some money towards some church planters in India through a pastor there called Paresh, but it's through your contact there, and we became aware of a need. COVID-19 made it impossible for Paresh, who leads a big church planting movement, to actually train and help and develop, because COVID, they couldn't actually get together. So they needed some laptops, some Wi-Fi devices. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Sure, absolutely. So just a big thank you to Uni Hill Churches for providing that donation of $2,000. So to my friend Paresh, so I've connected with Paresh over the last 12 months and was able to go to India February this year. So really got to know the amazing network of just house churches that is just spreading across West Bengal and parts of Bangladesh. And so similar to us, because of lockdowns, because of COVID, a lot of their interaction has had to be through online platforms, primarily Zoom, WhatsApp and so forth. And so as you can appreciate, their financial situation is so stark to ours. We have so much financially in terms of resource. And so Paresh had just been asking around. He asked me as well if there's any way that I could support or provide support for some funds to be able to buy laptops, to be able to buy smartphones, some data devices as well, so they got access to Wi-Fi. And because they've had a measure of that, it's been so successful in keeping their pastors and their church planning leaders connected across, a very, very vast distances, which in India, it's not easy to travel from A to B. And because of COVID, that's just not happening. So it's totally revolutionized the way they engage, the way they train and support one another on the field. And so I just, like I say, I think I connected with you, Greg, around this, and we just had some conversations, and just being able to, that funding that's come across from Uni Hill Church has made a big difference. $2,000 wouldn't necessarily buy a lot here in Australia with those devices, but in India, it actually makes a big difference. They can get purchase far more with that amount of money.
Yeah, so one of the things that happened is Paresh has let us know that he's been able to buy a couple of laptops, some Wi-Fi devices, and some of those church planters and church leaders are now being able to access some support, some ongoing training as they transform their communities with the gospel. And so, look, I just want to thank everybody in our church family who generously and faithfully contribute towards our missions program. And this is not part of our normal giving. We're not forming an ongoing partnership at this stage with Paresh and the church planters, but because of the faithfulness and the generosity, we had enough funds to actually do something. If you haven't made a missions commitment, everybody, I want to remind you, you can do so on our missions page on the Uni Hill Church website, and that helps enormously with our budgeting. Now, Oresti, let me tell you, we're about to start a week of prayer and fasting in our church from the 12th to the 18th. How have you found fasting?
Well, look, I started off with a bang when I first came to faith back in, when was it? Back in 89, I think it was. I came across this whole idea of fasting, and I just had no idea of it before that. I think I heard, might have been a Tim Hall video that I'd watched in our Life Group, Connect group. And I was totally sold. I mean, I was very new as a Christian. I thought, I'm going to do this. And, it was an amazing experience. Not that it's all about the experience, but as a newborn believer in Christ, I really had a deep connection with God just from fasting food. I just absolutely loved God and wanted more of him. And so it was a very profound experience that really I still remember today and has informed a lot of my later fasting as well.
Part of our week of prayer and fasting that's coming up is this Wednesday, which is the 14th. We're going to have a prayer night at 7:30. And again, the details are at the bottom of this email. So please join us. Church community, we're going to not only pray and fast together, but on Wednesday night at 7:30, we will pray and worship together. And we just believe that God is moving. No matter what we see in the physical realm, the spiritual realm, God is moving, and he's in charge of both realms. And so we're going to fast and believe and pray together on Wednesday night. Finally, I just want to remind everybody, Alpha launched a few weeks ago. It's not too late to jump in. So again, check our events page on our website, and it's got the information. Tuesday nights at 7:30. Just invite someone who's never experienced or explored faith at any level and jump in with them online. It's on Zoom. And so, Oresti, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you hopefully in the flesh very soon.
Agree, yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Greg. Take care.